Hi guys, if you watched my vlog most recently where I talked about when I went to London and also for my birthday, then you will be aware that I picked up one of these, the Apple Watch Series 2, the Nike Plus edition. Now I've yet to open it, which has taken all the restraint that I've had to do so, because I wanted to do so with you. So I'm going to open it right now. Certainly is tamper-proof. There we go, we're in. Okay, so let's get this show on the road. As you may be aware, hopefully, I am a keen runner, and so I was looking for a watch that I could use to log my training. And the new Apple Watch Series 2 comes with built-in GPS, so it does enable you to track your runs, and it records them on the watch, and then when you get back to your phone or to your computer, you can then sync it up and it'll take all your runs and put them onto your app, whichever it is you're using. Really good for making sure that you're checking your pace and so on and so forth. Beyond that, there's a bunch of other functions that the Apple Watch does that a regular watch doesn't. It gives you access to your apps, it gives you access to your messages, your emails, telephone calls. You can use the interactivity with Siri on it to engage with things like you would on your phone, but obviously now you can do so without having to physically pick up your phone. It is still Bluetooth dependent, so your phone needs to be in relative proximity, but obviously you can have it in your bag, your pocket, wherever, and then you can just use your watch. And one of the things that the guy in the shop told me about was you can actually now use the watch for maps, and it will vibrate to tell you when you need to be turning and where you need to be turning and stuff, which I thought was quite cool. So on to the unboxing. It's a very slender box, designed for athletes by Apple and Nike. Well, that is cool to hear. So I will get onto the instructions in just a moment, but here is the beautiful watch itself inside a cover. So just bear with me one moment while I endeavour to remove this. Apple are notorious for wrapping things up to keep them protected, but also making them difficult to access. There we are, beautiful. So I got there we go, you can just see that there. I got the Nike Plus edition, so this comes with built-in Nike Plus software. You don't necessarily have to use it, but the price was the same, and it comes with a funky strap, but also an aerated strap. One of the things that I considered when I was going to be wearing the watch was obviously, because it's not specifically a running watch and the TomToms and the Garmin's of the world, I wanted to make sure that it had the ability to just to let it breathe a little bit. Now, things about these, you can change these straps. So you can snap these off and put a more dressy type strap there. So then you can use it for in the evening and stuff. And obviously if you want to rock with this strap, no big deal, it's quite cool, quite sleek. I went for the, because of this strap, it comes with a kind of gunmetal-y grey kind of black. You can just quite see that on there, which is quite cool. On the back, that is the heart rate sensor, so it sends lights out that then reflect off the skin, and then it allows that to detect what your heart rate is. Let's get on to the watch itself. I don't want to turn it on without having read the instructions and stuff first, because I've made that mistake in the past, so we'll just take the remainder of the contents out of the box before I get onto the instructions. Also within the box we have a plug. Quite a cool looking plug. Oh, well, that is a cool looking plug. So it's very similar to the normal Apple plug where you pop the USB into the slot there, but in this instance it folds down flat, and if you then take that pin, it turns into a plug. Very cool. Not necessarily particularly important, but it is quite cool, the little features they do like that. This is your power kind of charging unit. So essentially you will plug that into that, and then that is the main charging bit. So as long as the watch is in proximity to that, and I will confirm having read the instructions, it will charge. That is the box empty, so we'll just pop the rest of the stuff back in the box, and then we shall take a look at the instructions. So there's a little quick start thing which I'll get to in a moment. It also appears as an additional strap. So I'm guessing that's if you want to, yes it is. So very savvy of them. An additional strap in there that's a little bit shorter than this one, just there. A little bit shorter than that one. So then if you have the need for a shorter wrist, a shorter strap for your wrist, then you can do so. So onto the instructions. Looks like a relatively simple setup guide from what I can see, so we'll go through that right now. To get started, put on your Apple Watch, install the latest version of iOS onto your phone, then open the Apple Watch app. Well, here is my phone. I believe it to already be up to date, and so I'll pop this onto my wrist, like so. One of the things here, the little clasp, is just a little kind of, whatever you want to call it. It pops through one of those many holes there in the middle, and then you tuck that away into the bottom, so it's not a magnetic one. I did find a couple of complications actually putting this on the other day. That might be because I'm perhaps a touch simple. So just bear with me one moment while I place this on my wrist. And we are on. So perhaps a little tight, but for the sake of showing you this. So on the wrist, there we go. This is the 42mm. So it's the larger of the two. There's also a 38, I think it is. It might not sound like a lot, but having looked at it, it was actually a reasonable size difference. And whilst it's not specifically for this, I would say that this is probably the male-sized watch, or the intention of being the male-sized watch, with the slightly smaller one being the intention of the female-sized watch. So, watch is now on wrist as per the request. Comes with force touch as per the new phones, so if you have a new iPhone, you'll know that obviously you can lightly touch the screen, it'll do one function, and if you apply more pressure, it will give you a slightly different function, which is quite cool. So yes, we have here the digital crown and the home button, which is just there. You can rotate that as per a normal crown on a normal watch, but obviously you can use it for selecting. And then there's the side button here, which says press the dock, double click for Apple Pay, press and hold to turn the watch on or off, or to place an emergency call, which is quite handy. Yes, so on the back here it says the heart rate sensor, which I showed you. There's a speaker. This watch is waterproof. I can't remember exactly to how much depth. I will let you know, but I think it's 50 meters or so. And I saw this really cool feature because there's a speaker on there. You can quite see the speaker on there. Hopefully, if it focuses. Obviously, you would think that it wouldn't enable it to be waterproof, but there is an air vent on here too, and the way that it remains waterproof is it basically blasts air out to clear the water out again, thus stopping it getting to all the bits that it shouldn't be getting to. So apparently what I need to do is go into my phone, which I will do right now. I'm guessing I need to turn the Bluetooth on, which I will do, even though it hasn't told me to. I'll go to Apple and I go to the Watch app. Good afternoon. If you have an Apple Watch, you can pair it here. Start pairing. I shall do that. In the interest of the setup, I think I'm actually going to take the watch back off again because that might make it a bit easier. Here we go. So now it's saying which language you want as per it would on your phone. So I'm going to click English. Open the watch on your Apple, open the Apple Watch app on your iPhone and tap Start Pairing. So if I hold that there, in fact if I press Start Pairing it might help. Start Pairing, and then if you hold it there, it's playing a little image on the screen. My Apple Watch is now paired. Now I can set up the Apple Watch. So wrist preference, on your wrist, which wrist do you wear your Apple Watch? So I am right-handed, typically people tend to wear their watch on the opposite wrist, but I just prefer on my right, so I'm going to go with the right. Digital crown orientation. Select a side for your digital crown and your Apple Watch display will automatically set itself to the correct orientation. So this is basically saying now what you can do is obviously the watch looks like that and the crown is there, and obviously if I were wearing my watch on this wrist, as I will be, I can actually switch the thing to the other way around if I so wish, but I'm not going to in this occasion. I'm going to leave it on the right hand side. So click right. Terms and conditions, typical Apple terms and conditions, 3 million pages, so we'll just click agree, then agree, and they'll send those by email and we'll never read them. Workout route tracking, yes I will enable workout route tracking, obviously that's one of the functions I would like to use it for. Settings for location services, Find My iPhone, Siri, Wi-Fi calls and diagnostic and usage are shared between the iPhone and the watch, and if location services have been enabled in your phone, Apple Watch will use your location for certain watch faces too. Okay. Apple Watch passcode. You can add a passcode. I guess it's very similar to your phone. So create a 4-digit passcode on my watch. And obviously I don't want you to see this, so just bear with me 1 second. Do you want to unlock Apple Watch with your iPhone? Yeah, why not? Right, so back to the phone. Activity. Set up activity. If you like, you can provide a little bit of information about yourself to set up the activity app on your Apple Watch now. Why not? So, birth date, 13th of December 1980, it already knows that. Sex, male, no option for yes please. Height, it says 167 centimetres, Don't really know if that's right, and it says weight 8 to 6 kilos. Don't really know if that's right. It also asks if I'm on a wheelchair. I'm guessing that's because obviously with regards to motion, and I'm not, so I'm just going to hit continue. Daily move goal. So set a daily calorific move goal based on how active you are, or active you'd like to be. I would like to be highly active, and it suggests I need to do 1,000 calories per day. I'm going to set that as my move goal. I suspect sometimes outside of running that may not be achievable, but we'll go with it for now. Are we running today? The Nike Plus Run app for Apple Watch delivers the ultimate in-run experience. Plus reminders, I will download that later because I'm not really planning on using it. Apple Pay. So yes, I do want to use Apple Pay. It has my card already stored, and I'd be really interested to see how easy it is to use it in certain places. Like the underground, I guess, is relatively easy, but if you walk into Greg's, for example, just holding your watch up, how practical that is. That card has been added. Emergency SOS. You can press and keep holding the side button to call emergency services from your Apple Watch. That seems like a really good idea, and we will do that. Install available apps. We will install them all. My Apple Watch is almost ready, and it's currently syncing, so that's what it looks like at the moment whilst it syncs. Now there's a whole bunch, as is the case with Apple, all of the Apple devices come pre-installed with Apple friendly apps and stuff that they want you to use, and obviously we know a lot of the time we don't really want them. But in this occasion I clicked yes, just because it's easier perhaps to go through and do that rather than trying to pick out what I think I might need, and I can always get rid of the ones I don't want later. Well, I'm assuming they am, unless Apple have prevented me from doing so. Now, some of the things that this does, according to the leaflet, which might be of use, is the first thing is the things that are on your phone, on your watch, you can then see on your phone. So obviously, if you do want to edit things and customize things, perhaps it's a touch easier to do on the larger screen. You can change the watch faces, you can change the notification center. So much like on the phone, if you swipe down from the top, it will give you functions that we use. Little thing flashed up my phone then, your Apple ID and phone number are now being used for iMessage and FaceTime on your new Apple Watch. Good to know. So the control center, you can swipe up from the bottom and it'll give you access to the same things you would on your phone. So obviously flight mode, silence, nighttime mode, that sort of thing. It has force touch as I suggested, so certain apps and features will work depending on how much pressure you apply. There is a dock area. If you press the side button for the dock and then swipe across, you can view your apps. Obviously you have Apple Pay. The digital crown basically allows you to scroll through. So this is the crown on the side, just there. And that, by twiddling, for want of a better phrase, allows you to cycle through anything you've got on the screen, and then there's a function to press it, and if you hold it down it will bring Siri, much the same as when you hold down your home button on your phone. It will give you the Siri functions, and then you can obviously dictate. I think that's probably going to be one of the features I might have to get used to using on the watch, in that you aren't going to be able to type in the same way you would on your phone. But obviously if you are clear when you speak, you can make use of Siri, which in fairness isn't a function I use a great deal at the moment because sometimes it is just easier to type, but that wouldn't be the case on the watch. So I may attempt to try and use Siri a bit more regularly for searching for things, directions, occasional text messages, especially if you get a text comes through and all you really need to do is provide a short reply rather than a very long-winded reply. So that is it as far as the instructions go. I'm just waiting for the upload to, or the update to complete. Once that's done, I'll give you a quick scan of the watch itself and the functions, and then I'm going to get on to using it. So I've been a little bit excited. I've had this sat here since yesterday when I first got it for my birthday, but I bought it a few days before then, and I haven't really been able to give it a thorough working over yet. So I am really looking forward to doing that. Okay, so the watch is now updated. The default time face, shall we say, yeah, the default face, probably the correct word, is this funky, oh, you can't see that because I moved the phone. Let me try that again. It's this funky Nike Plus one, so it's in the Nike Plus colours with the Nike Plus logo. You can just see that there. Focus. So yeah, let's jump in and have a quick play, shall we? So if you press the crown as I just did there, it obviously gives you a bunch of the features on the screen. You can use your finger just to scroll around there. You can select one by zooming in, so for example the text messages, just there. Hopefully you can see that. For example, I've got the settings, so let's go to the settings button. So if I push the settings button, it just comes up like it would on your normal phone. You can pick the time, airplane mode, blah 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 blah. Right, so one thing you want to be careful to do is I did just set up the emergency call thing, so that if I hold my finger on this button here, it will emergency call. Obviously I don't want to do that. One of the things I have noticed whilst I've been talking is it is still downloading a bunch of apps, so that might explain why some of the functionalities aren't perhaps quite there at the moment. Okay, so while that's updating, let's just look into the actual phone where it gives you the function it has here. So on your watch, obviously shows me what my watch is, what my current face is. Then there is the function for the Find My Apple Watch, and the same thing would be for your phone. You can then go into the face gallery, so here's where I can choose a number of different faces, ones that suit me. If you are interested in Minnie Mouse there, you can get a bit of Minnie Mouse. So there's plenty to choose from, and then down the bottom there's a number of different Nike ones, for example, so you don't have to have the same one I showed just now, different colours. Digital ones, more analog facing ones, some coloured ones, Mickey and Minnie Mouse, numerals, utilities, modular, and so on and so forth. And then it's the App Store. So in here is an App Store that's specific for the watch, is what you want. So I've been having a quick play around with it. A couple of cool functions that I've found. It's got a passcode on here, which has proven to be a bit annoying because when I was trying to use it, it was laying down and kept locking. There's actually a function that it locks when it knows it's not on your wrist, which is quite cool. So if you happen to take it off, people can't access your information. When it's on your wrist, you tap it, brings up the watch. Tap it again, brings up the menu. Obviously it needs putting into practice. So I've had a kind of quick go with the watch. I've changed a couple of the features, got myself a cool little... I don't know if you can really... There you go. You probably can't see that. No, you can't see that. No. Well, I assure you it's very nice. I got myself a cool little face. Reorganised the apps a little bit. You can change them around to your preference so they kind of focus around where you most likely would look. You will notice that in a battery saving effort, every time I move my watch wrist away, it turns it off. The other thing is, obviously, it does go dull and blank when you're not using it, but then if you lift it to your face, it brings it back up again, which means you can see the time, which is good. So the app is very good. Explore the app. It gives you a good opportunity to download some things and also categorises them, so there might be things you hadn't thought of that you might want to download. If there's anybody who hasn't got an Apple Watch and is considering getting one, feel free to drop me a comment or a question, because I'm keen to explore it, and so if you ask something of it, and I'll see if I can find out, and then obviously I get to use the watch too in doing so. At the same time, if you have an Apple Watch, specifically a Series 2, although I don't know if there's any major differences other than the GPS and perhaps the level of water resistance between that and the first one, feel free to also drop a comment about things I should be looking at, because then I can take a look at those too. I am really keen to make sure that I'm utilising it to the best of its ability, so I want to be able to make sure that I'm using it properly. So please do put any comments in there for anybody who has one, if you know someone who has one, if you're thinking of getting one, so we can get a bit of a conversation going. And on that note, see you all again soon. Thanks for watching, always appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. I have many videos for Vlogmas. I am sending a video every single day. Thank you very much for watching, hope to see you again soon.